Hello, friends and fellow fans of the bass. Welcome back to Phil's practice room, where we talk about bass, we practice together, we share cool ideas, video tips, all sorts of hopefully not questionable life advice. Do join me in the chat, say hi, ask me to play something, or any other questions or suggestions you might have. We're here to build a nice community of passionate people, whether it's about music, bass, a particular genre of music, anything that crosses your mind remotely connected to music, and we'll sink our teeth into it. Hi, Mike. I'm glad to see you again. And yeah, I didn't start early today because I didn't have the same kind of technical problems I had a few days ago. So I didn't have anything to iron out before starting. So I was quite happily just tinkering and getting a little bit of a warm up in before starting. I have been working very hard today again on the website. I'm still working on the YouTube shorts, and I'm starting to piece together some ideas of what to do. Awesome, good to hear. Of what to do with the shorts. I'm thinking, because we've got some nice bits of interaction in the stream, and I thought it would be a shame not to have that be kind of a hook into this community that we're building together. So yeah, I thought I'd send a little flare up and say that, yeah, you guys, I might just use some of the comments you guys send in order to use that as a jumping off point to do some YouTube shorts and answer some questions, do a little bit of transcribing on the fly, that kind of stuff. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube or Twitch in order to stay in touch. And also, if you get any value from this channel at all and you feel like supporting it, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can buy me a coffee with the link in the description below, or at buymeacoffee.com/PhilPlaysBass. I might be getting some teaching work in Belgium as well, which is really nice to hear. So I had to put together a little bit of a show reel, not on bass, oddly enough, but on the old piano, teaching harmony and piano beginners. So that's gonna be interesting. So I'm brushing up on my piano skills. Hello, Michael. Hello, Zatoichi. Good to see you again, guys. Thanks for joining again. Real pleasure. So thanks, Michael, for telling me whether or not the stream looks good. I do rely on you guys sort of give me the temperature a little bit. I've been again playing with the parameters in the streaming software I'm using. So if there's any kind of glitches, anything that's not working out too well, whether it's the lighting, the camera angles, do let me know anything, and I'll try to correct that as we go along. What are we going to do today? I was struggling a little bit yesterday, live, in public. I was struggling a little bit with this exercise that I was really keen to share with you guys. That weird arpeggio. Well, it's not weird, but it's just, there's a lot of things to consider in that exercise. So I thought we'd go through that again today, and hopefully I'll be a little bit. Are we out of focus? We're a little bit out of focus. Yeah, she doesn't like me too much today. She prefers the microphone, I think. Okay, here we go. So a little bit of arpeggio warm-up kind of thing. And then I'd go back to some gospel, a little bit of gospel transcribing. Whether or not you're a gospel fan, that's kind of what I'm going to be preaching a little bit when it comes to gospel. It doesn't really matter what kind of genre you're most into. Gospel lines on the bass are super, super, super fun to play. They're really, really enjoyable. And once you get a few of them under your belt, it starts to seep into your playing in really interesting ways. And yeah, it's definitely one of the things I've transcribed probably as much of as jazz solos. I've probably done equal parts jazz solos and gospel parts. Yeah, that's it. Yep, precisely, Michael. Shout music and Beautiful articulation on the bass. Hi, Brandon. Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden was fun. I learned on bass yesterday. Fear of the Dark. That's a great song as well, man. For sure. For sure. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll save that for later. Maybe we'll save that for later and have a little... Fear of the Dark. Yeah, we'll have a little play around at the end. For sure. Hi, Bono from India. Glad to have you back, man. Everybody's in today. Zatoichi, has your have you had the opportunity to sort of play around with the couple of pointers? Couple of things I told you about the left hand technique. Oh, and the right hand as well, actually. If not, that's okay. But do give it a shot at some point. Power chord arpeggios. Ooh, dude. Okay. Sweet. So, speaking of arpeggios, without further ado, and this is where we get a little bit technical, guys. Okay. I might have to readjust the different cameras a little bit, because I'm still not quite happy with the what do you call it, the angle of the camera. It's a little bit too close, but hey, something to keep in mind. Oh, guys, the suggestions keep coming in. Amazing. I love to see that. So that's something else to add. Something else to add to the list. I'll do that just after I introduce you guys to this exercise. For those of you who weren't here the last couple of times that I did it, I think I've done it sporadically, but regardless, technically it's a pretty simple arpeggio exercise. You can take it just on a pure stretching kind of level, endurance level. You can take it like that and just leave it at that, or you can add some more thinky components, some more theoretical components to it, and it really helps you sort of map out the way the neck is laid out. And I kind of fell a bit short yesterday, I'll be honest, because I'd kind of just realized that it was 2 arpeggios basically superimposed. So I'll explain what I mean. So from the very, quote-unquote, very basics, if we consider the G major scale, we've got 7 notes here, with 8 with the octave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 8 being the octave, i.e. the same note as our root note. If we carry on, we've got 8, 9, 10, 11. And basically we're going to be working with all these notes. My head is getting in the way. I can't believe how many times I've said that in my life, but that's actually quite true. I do have quite a big head. So the arpeggio is going to be 1, 3, 7 to start with in the key of G major. So 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7. And then depending on which way you want to think about it, 9, 11, and then we're going to start working our way down. 10, which is a third up the octave. Octave, 6, 4, 3, and 1. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 1. And it's already, just by itself, it's already a really good exercise that goes a little bit deeper, again, as the kind of 4 fingers per fret exercise that we've done, because here we're splitting that over all 4 strings of the bass. So that's already one interesting technical aspect to this exercise. If you wanted to just leave it at that and get comfortable with it, no problem at all. That's already a pretty good exercise. In terms of theory, there's an interesting way to look at it as well, which is we're actually going up 1 arpeggio and then down another arpeggio in a different degree of the scale. So if we think of 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, we can think of this note coming next as the starting point as the 7th of a C major scale. And we do an arpeggio in reverse, which would be 7, 5, 3, 1. So we go up in G, 1, 3, 5, 7, and then down in C, 7, 5, 3, 1. And on top of that, there's a couple of notes that sort of, we don't know if they belong to whichever arpeggio. But altogether, that's the exercise. Again, the degrees, if you want to think in like the numbers of notes to play, would be again 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 1. And then we move and use this 1 as the 7 to the next chord. So we use the same pattern, but we stay in a diatonically, basically. So we play the first, and then the second degree of that G major scale, which would be A Dorian. But we adapt that scale, that mode, to do that 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 10, kind of the same pattern essentially, which gives us. And then we keep moving up the neck. And that's the full exercise. But essentially, if you stay in the G major scale and you literally just play the right notes, i.e. the only sharp note, the only altered note in that scale is F sharp. If you play all the same notes as the C major scale, but focus on whenever you get an F, remember that it's an F sharp, if you know the notes on your neck. And Bob's your uncle. I say Bob's your uncle, but it's actually it's not the easiest thing to approach. Let's call this like a intermediate / advanced kind of way to think of arpeggios. So that was my little opening monologue about this arpeggio malarkey. Sorry guys, what have you been saying? You worked quite diligently on Credit by Top. Oh yes, of course. Yeah, we talked about that one the other day. I felt like taking a break after first half, but didn't try to go through each note of a song. Also, almost done a Motorhead bass tone. I should be able to do Ace of Spades full speed now. Oof. Okay, dude. Bit of a challenge there for yourself. That's good. You do want to set the bar high, for sure. That's a lot of right hand stuff there. He played with the pick, doesn't he, Lemmy? You want to start finger picking again too? Although you want to start finger picking again though, so might start with a Sabbath again. Learned Evil Woman on guitar. Lol. Got to build up my hands for bass, especially pinky. Yeah, for sure. Michael, so you're going through the modes, correct? Like major, minor, minor, major, major, etc. Yes. Essentially, it's that. And if you don't know the notes and all of the extensions that fall between the arpeggios, either you're able to hear them, but they didn't come particularly naturally to me. It took, for instance, if we're in Phrygian, if we're in the third mode, that one has a flat 9, which does come through if you play. That's a flat 9 just there. So some of the notes, they're not just minor and major. There are obviously extensions. What we call extensions are all the notes in between that get pushed up the octave, so they don't clash with the rest of the arpeggio. But yes, it's essentially major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, half diminished, and major. Correct. If you guys want to get super technical, we can start talking about modes and all the names and why it's important to. It's important. It's good to have them. It's good to have them. It's good to know what's going on. Again, it's a tool. It's a tool that helps you take something that you like from a song, understand it, and apply it to something else in a different context. But if you don't know what's going on, you don't really know how to, play some kind of lick in a different key, which makes the exercise of transcribing only half as effective as it can be. Because obviously transcribing is always good, since you're always at least training your ears. But yeah, continuing on to the G string is forcing you to think. Yeah, it's not an easy exercise, but if you think of it as, like I said, you could break this exercise down into a more basic version of that, which would be the two sort of mirroring arpeggios, as in we go up 1 3 5 7 in G, and then down 7 5 3 1 in C. So we're still in the key of G major, but the fourth degree, which is C, is also major. So you can break it down to just 1 3 5 7 and sort of forget about the extensions for now. And only after a while, once you become more comfortable, you can start bringing them in. But that's also a good exercise. 1 3 5 7 7 5 3 1. And do the same thing on the way down. Very cool exercise. And definitely technically super good for string skipping. Ooh. Nice. Is everybody feeling pretty warmed up? Or is it just me? I did cheat. I did do a bit of a warm up before. Maybe a little bit. Maybe we could do a little bit of a stretchy type of exercise. You guys have seen me do this one a lot before. Turn the tone up actually, so you guys get to hear the horrible buzzing and the little mistakes I make. Yep, that E string. It's been very wet in Belgium these last couple of days, and I feel like my basses are moving quite a lot. Sorry, I didn't explain. This is a variation on a one finger per fret exercise. I'm starting this one in D flat, but you can basically just start it anywhere you're comfortable. The notes aren't really important. It's the movement that's the most important thing. And we're basically doing one finger per fret, but alternating between two strings. So. And then for the second way, we start with the E string, pinky, and then ring finger. So, I don't know if you guys can see properly. Hang on. Okay, so. Pinky. If it starts hurting, shake it off a couple of seconds and then back at it. Yep, that one always hurts. Michael, you said there wasn't much to see in Belgium. I googled Belgium last night and it looks magical. I think you're trying to keep the tourists and riffraff out. No. I think I didn't finish my thought yesterday. I started off by saying the beautiful places, they are definitely there, but they're quite, I don't know if sporadic is the right word. They are 100% there, but they're really spread out. And you usually have to drive through Mordor every time you leave a nice place and want to get to another. That's just the way Belgium is built. Obviously, Bruges is our most famous landmark. Bruges and the Ardennes in the south, Bruges being more the north towards the sea. It's an unbelievable place to visit, for sure. Definitely recommended. But it's quite far away from where I live. Not far away for an American who's used to long drives. But yeah, it's definitely worth visiting for sure. But just that on its own, is it worth a trip from America, from Louisiana? Flying from Baton Rouge to Brussels. Take a sip of this. Okay, guys, I feel pretty warmed up. I'm actually quite excited to start working on this gospel tune. I have not transcribed it before. I've listened to it many times. I've always been in awe of the bass playing on that. I'm able to keep my pinky so close to the fretboard. In what particular section are you talking about? The sort of finger twister? About this one? Do you mean the sort of general alignment of my knuckles doesn't seem to move that much? Because that's usually what people tell me. They say your hand is not moving all over the place to get to the notes. A lot of pain is the secret. And these finger twister exercises, I'm going to start calling them that actually, finger twisters. They're the ones who are responsible for that particular development in my left hand. Yeah, the flying pinky. I mean, I've always been a big proponent of the idea that if it looks good and if it looks relaxed, it's probably the right way to go. And that was my mentor's words as well. He was not a very technical bass player, but he made everything just look really fluid and effortless. And it sounded fluid and effortless, even when it was fast, more complex bass lines. He always had this really pristine technique. And he never seemed to move a lot around the neck. It all seemed like a flow. And he always told me it's because the basics are like Mr. Miyagi. It's repeating these simple exercises as often as you can remember to. And going back to them when you notice a little bit of a lag or a bit of a dip in your ability to play things you could play before, or you see what I mean? Sometimes we forget that we used to practice certain things. And it's always a good thing to go back to, page 1 of your notebook. It's like, oh, what did I used to do? Bam, bam, bam. These one finger per fret exercises with their variations. Always, even if it's just 5 minutes, 5 minutes before chores and work, it's always good to go back to, because it will give you a super strong foundation and endurance, and your muscles' ability to withstand long periods of time holding awkward positions on the neck is what will make the difference between injuring yourself or just the kind of discomfort that puts you away, that puts you off picking up the instrument. So it's worth putting yourself through a little bit of that pain so that you make every single day of practice after that just a little bit more easy, a little bit easier. So that's it. That's my soapbox moment of why one should do one. One should do one finger per fret. Finger twisters. And also this kind of stuff. That's also, I keep going back to that. So. And just holding that position for a little bit, and making sure there's no buzz. Sorry, I toned the tone down. See, there's a bit of a buzz there. I'm not super happy about that. So I know that's something I'm going to have to keep doing. It's always a good thing to stay honest with your own playing, especially in the privacy of your own bedroom where nobody's judging you but yourself. So don't be too hard, because we've all seen the opposite of that. The guy's absolutely convinced that he'll never be able to practice to play in public because it's just never good enough. He's just too harsh a critic towards himself. Don't fall in that category either. Michael read that when John Patitucci was still in school practicing bass, he would stand in the hall with his bass and hands against the wall to train himself to avoid flying pinky. He would stand in the hall with his bass and his hands against the wall to train himself to avoid flying pinky. Oh yeah, that's I've heard that as well. So you're back against the wall, so that there's no kind of weird elbow shoulder movement. You try to force yourself to stay. Oh, sorry, Tushar. The stream is lagging. Keep the bitrate a little low. I keep getting these warning messages from my YouTube, but my internet provider has assured me that they've turned up the upload rate on my internet connection, and it's been nearly a month now, and I don't see the difference at all. So I'm quite frustrated with that as well. And I'm even connected. I'm not using Wi-Fi. I'm connected with a cable straight into the router. So my position in the room shouldn't make a difference, and yet it still does. Tushar, if you have any kind of advice on OBS and how to fiddle with the settings, because I can't seem to figure this one out. Okay, gospel. I'm feeling pretty warmed up. I hope everyone does too. I'm going to switch basses because I think I'm going to need my 5-string for that. So, welcome back, Jessica. I don't know if she's called Jessica. She might be. Is it me? Are basses always female personalities in your heads? I don't know. Why is that? Michael, I just had to clean my Safari cache to clean up live streams and everything. You think the cache might be something that's holding us back? Oof, she's gnarly today. Oof, and the tone wasn't even up. Oof. We're not going to do too much slapping today, so I don't know why it just did. Check the upload settings. There is a setting called bitrate. Just keep it near 8 to 10K. That's the highest YouTube takes. Okay, let's have a look for that, because if I can make the experience a little bit better on the fly as we're doing it. Output video bit rate. Okay, you said around 8,000. Yeah, but then I think I had done that before, and it keeps telling me the streaming video bitrate will be set to 6,000, which is the upper limit for the current streaming service. Maybe it's the audio bitrate. I might have to look into the audio bitrate as well. It could be that I'm streaming with multiple audio sources at the same time. That might be something. If you guys can stomach it for the time being. Yeah, but this is a brand new Mac Mini, like super powerful. It has like 8 cores or whatever, so it should be able to stream at a pretty decent. Oh well, okay. So it might not be 100% on my end then, but it's still something to look at because it's uneven, to say the least. Okay, guys, so let's have a quick listen to this tune, which is just unreal. Okay, hopefully the bass is going to come out nice. Spotify on. Okay, here we go.
What's up, Baltimore? Somebody make some noise in here tonight. We've come to praise one God, one name, and is worthy of all our praise. Come on and help me praise him. Yes. You are Lord and King. To the true and living God we sing. You are master of everything. All creation shout, all you King. All creation crowns you King. You are Lord and King. To the true and living God we sing. You are master. All creation calls you King. All creation crowns you King. Glory, glory to the one. Glory, we call you King. Glory to the one. Glory, glory, we call him King. Yes, Lord, we call you King. There's one.
So you get the idea. It kind of revolves around the chord progression. That's essentially the whole sequence. I'm just playing the root notes here and the sort of scaffolding of the verse, but the interesting parts are obviously everything that's in between. And I've been wanting to transcribe this song for I don't know how many years, and I literally just saw it in the list today, and I was like, why am I not doing that today? So here we go. This might be Touchant. So it means your ISP is not good. Try getting another ISP. Your settings are fine and system as well. How can you tell? Are you in my machine right now? It looks to me like the settings are fine. It seems to me like it's an internet provider issue. I will have to give them a call. I think I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now. Without further ado, I'm going to have to figure out exactly where to put this box. But, like I said, Michael, you're very familiar with this. This is our trusty, amazing slow downer software, transcribing software, which is a very basic transcribing software, I find. But I really prefer it to everything else that's on the market. I find all the other ones a little bit unwieldy, and they just give just a little bit too much functionality for what I'm doing personally. So it's a very subjective choice for me to use this instead of, let's say, transcribe. And the reason I like this one, you're just straight in. You're just straight in. So since no pitching, speed at 100% for now. And
We've come to praise one
let's
God,
find the beginning.
one name, and is worthy of all our praise. Come on and help me praise him. Yes. You are Lord.
Okay, that's about the beginning. Is the audio coming through as well? Yes. Although there might be two sources at the same time. Very basic so far, but let's go through it. Oh, we're a little bit further. Okay, from the beginning again.
You are Lord and King. To the true and living God we sing. You are Master
Yep, this is where
of creation.
things start getting a little bit crazy. Okay. Already, just a very, very simple fill. So instead of just going from F, sorry, because this bass is D tune. So instead of going from what would be F to F sharp to, it always confuses me. Instead of moving from these notes straight to this one, he does, which is just a simple, nice little flourish. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. And that's the kind of creative thinking that I love, absolutely adore about gospel. They're very, very simple articulations that just bring life. Yes, Mike, I am tuned half step down. I'm in E flat. It's just I hate having to think about note names in the middle of the stream because I get flustered. What can I say? I'm human. So 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's not really part of the bass line. The bass line is, and the singers, the MD would be absolutely content with you just playing that. But it's not really, it's a bit lifeless, especially in the genre like gospel, where people just really respect spur of the moment artistic expression, improvisation, just on the spot. They just love that kind of stuff. You're moved by the spirit, and it's very much part of that culture of gospel. So you can't really think of that as a bass line. It's more of a nice bit of intonation on as opposed to saying hi. You could say hi or hi. You can communicate so much more by just adding some movement to the bass line. So, and that's about as simple as it's going to get. This is the lowest level that it's going to stay at. And on the tail of that, which is kind of just mirroring the thing he just did. You see, they're all shapes and patterns that you man, that's going to be difficult to hear that.
To the true and living God we sing. To the true and living. To the true and to the true and living God.
Man, it's so low, so low. Nobody can even tell what note this is.
To the true and
I really struggle with this kind of stuff, which is why I love transcribing it, because it does not fall into my ear easily at all. Yeah, bass is absolutely mental in gospel. It's crazy. Okay, I'm just going to take it back a couple of seconds because I'm struggling to hear.
you are
Okay, dun, dun, dun.
you are to the true and
Yep.
you are to the true and living God we say. You are to the true and
And there's a little ghost note as well, if you can hear it. Dun, dun, dun. Go. Yep.
you are to the true and living.
I think I've got it. Very harmonic, rich, that bass.
You are to the true and living. You are to the true and living.
You see what I mean? If you don't pay attention, you don't hear what's going on there. But it's incredibly rich rhythmically. I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on in terms of the rhythm, but all these interesting syncopations, if you headbutt the wall enough, eventually it will sink in. You will assimilate it, and they're just awesome little articulations, things that do eventually come out and blossom into your blossom. I'm a poet now, and they become integrated into your playing, and it's a beautiful thing, if you ask me. It's the most beautiful thing, really. Certainly the most fun thing for me, the most fun thing to transcribe, the gospel.
You are to the true and living God we say. You are master.
Oh, here we go. There's another one.
We say. You are master and living God we say. You are and living God we say.
A couple of seconds before.
To the true and living God we say. You are
And once you play it, you're like, this is such a simple shape.
to the true and living God we say. You are master.
Oh, he plays it a little bit later.
To the true and living God we say. You are
No, I'm missing something.
to the true and living God we say. You are master.
Such a simple shape, except when you listen to the whole thing as music, it just sounds like, which it should. It should sound like a fluid interjection. It shouldn't sound stilted. It shouldn't sound like a lick. It shouldn't sound like something you've practiced. it should sound like it's coming out just fluidly. And I'm not going to pretend that I can do that. I can hear it. I notice it. I do notice these things. And obviously we're talking about Sheree Reed, who's one of the top bass players in the world, and gospel, he's probably in the, I don't know if there's a top 10 of gospel bass players, but he's unbelievably musical and original in his bass playing. I'm such a fan.
To the true and living God we say, you are master.
That's it. So nope, not.
To the true and living God we say, you are master.
I need to listen.
To the true and living God we say, you are.
Dun, 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 dun.
To the true and living God we say, you are master. All creation calls you king.
And obviously you got these big unison lines that bring everyone together. It's like, okay, no wrong, no what do you call it? No footsing around there. It's everybody plays that. It's the union. And then after that, when you go back to the verse, you can open up again. But when you've got these big horn lines, it's everybody together in line. This is the moment where everybody knows that the form is repeating itself. And then we're back into the verse.
To the true and living God we say, you are master.
Keep missing the...
To the true and living God we say, you are master. To the true and living God we say, you are.
1, 2, 1, 2. I think that's it.
To the true and living God we say, you are master.
No, still not.
To the true and living God we say, you are master. All creation calls you king. All creation crowns you king. Glory, glory to the one. Glory.
That one coming up, I think is just crazy. I'm not going to do 2 hours today, guys. I'm only going to do an hour because I've got plans for the evening. Well, slightly less interesting plans than what I'm doing now, but it's got to be done. Hey, Tax. How you doing, man? It's been a while. Sheree Reed went to school for standard bass, and he also recites classical music on bass. He's a beast. Indeed, we did... I don't know if you were there, but we did watch some of his interview, again, with... the ever-present Scott Devine. Shout out Scott Devine. And in the interview, he talks about all the reading that he had to do and that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's an absolute all-rounder. I wish I could read as well as he does. Being able to sight read like that, it's crazy, man. It's practically magic in my eyes. Practically magic. But I love it. I don't think I'll ever be as good as somebody who learned to read music as a child or as a very young person. There's an element of that brain plasticity that you never really get back, even with humongous amounts of practice. I don't think you're ever able to internalize something as deeply as you can when you're that age. I'm not a brain specialist or a learning specialist, but it just feels like that to me. I did try for many years to get my reading up to scratch, and it would be such a huge amount of practice was required every day for me to just keep my head above the water. And then work gets in the way. You get home late, and your practice falls off the cliff. And then it's been a couple of weeks, and you try again, and you're like, "Gosh, it's going to take me 2 months to get back to where I was." So that's my little sub story about reading. I'm not complaining. I'm in awe. I'm in admiration, and I'm glad some people are. I'm glad there are inspiring people, man. There are inspiring people all over the place, and we should look up to them and not be afraid to do so. I am an unafraid fan of Sheree Reid. Okay, this lick here is coming up. Michael, I'm not an SBL member, no. Mike Brooks in the house. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for joining again, Mike. Really appreciate it. I was actually thinking of going through some bass news today, integrating a new segment into the stream, and have a look at the bassguitarmagazine.com. Go check out bassguitarmagazine.com. Mike doesn't work there anymore, but he built that thing. When paper was cool, well, that was Mike's handiwork. I did say paper, not papyrus. You're not that old, right? Okay. No slapping today. No slapping today. Only gospel chops. Okay, now it's starting to get a little bit busier. This is not yet as crazy as it gets, but we're getting there at a pretty steady pace. Okay, so let's have a listen to this. Sorry, guys. Sorry. How do gospel guys do this? I wonder. They're using the same licks or the same shapes, but somehow it never really feels the same. I don't know if it's because the context is moving as well. You know, the lines get busier, the music gets a little bit louder, the intensity is building up. But the same line never sounds the same. It's because it's not the actual bass line. It's not a set bass line. It's all spur of the moment thing. And that's what makes it, the spontaneity makes it just absolute earworm to me. Ear sugar. Let's do it. You just finished running Saturday's disco set. What's Saturday's disco? Oh, you're playing on Saturday and you're doing a disco gig. Then you just finished practicing that disco set. I hear you. Sorry, the lingo is just disappearing in me. It's like, that's it. 6 months away from London. I'm like, what's a disco set? 53, man. We're good. We're good. Give me another scroll level. Nice. Maybe a different shape on a different part of the neck. It might be Tax. In this particular case, though, it is the same lick. If you pay attention closely. It's not exactly the same lick, granted. It's the same. We're in the same vicinity. I think that's what he's doing there. Yep. I think I'm not playing it at the right time. Ah. Shall we slow it down a touch? yeah, I'm not really thinking about the fingering so much at the minute, but
You King. Glory, glory, to the one. Glory,
oh, it's just so hard to wrap my head around when that little line is coming in.
you King. Glory, glory, to the one. Glory.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Even just this little, you can kind of hear it.
You King. Glory, glory, to the one. Glory. We call you King. Glory.
They're quite difficult to hear in this recording because let's not forget that Sheree plays everything very muted and mostly with his thumb. He does this kind of back and forth, but it's mostly his weirdly hyper articulated thumb that does all of that. Looks like a little fish nearly. I'm just going off on one. It's just so beautiful. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm just discovering the bass line as same as you. I did listen to the tune hundreds of times, but never transcribed the bass properly.
You King. Glory, glory, to the one. Glory. We call you King. Glory.
Tax, what software am I using? It's Amazing Slowdowner, available at ronimusic.com, RONI music.com. It's a very basic transcribing software, but I think I've bought it three times in the last 15 years because I keep losing I keep changing machines. Like I went from a MacBook Pro to a Windows machine, and then now I'm back on an Apple computer, and I keep losing the credentials and whatever. So and I keep buying the same one because I've tried Transcribe. A lot more functionality, but it doesn't quite do. I've got my own way of working with this one. I'm used to it, and I'm more productive with it. And that's the reason I use that one. Yeah, so Amazing Slowdowner, guys. I'm not being paid. I'm not endorsed or anything. Ronnie Music. But that's the best software for quickly making loops, slowing down, changing pitch, all that sort of stuff. Super, super easy to wrap your head around. Okay, sorry, my stomach is grumbling already. It's way too early for that, but let's see how long I last before I collapse into a starving puddle. All right, so far we've got this basic bass line. Which is not actually no. Yeah, I think that's D flat over F, basically. That first one is an inversion. It's a D first inversion. And that's the initial shape, but then all the things that start grafting themselves around it. Oh boy.
You King. Glory, glory, to the one. Glory. We call you King. Glory. You King.
Let's move a little bit further. I want to get to that insane lick.
You King. Glory, glory, to the one. Glory. We call you King. Glory. To the one.
Mm.
Glory, glory, we call him King. Yes, Lord, we call him King. There's one God, one name, one worthy,
a lot more staccato there, which I don't remember noticing.
One day, one worthy of our praise. One day,
Oh, that's because there's a key change coming. That's why. They're announcing that something's coming. I love that. Let's play that section again.
one day, one worthy of our praise. One day, God's worthy
Here it comes.
of our praise. One God,
Yep. Where were we? Oh, play it again.
one day, one worthy of our praise. One day, God's worthy of our praise. He's the only one.
And now we're in F sharp. So we're. And we're announcing. Dun, 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 dun. So quite a brutal key change, actually, if you think about it. And now we're in F.
He's the only one. He's the master.
Woo! What the hell is going on there?
He's the only one. He's the master.
Again, in my head, I'm imagining it to be this crazy line because it seems just so but it's actually quite simple.
He's the only one. He's the master.
That's so cool.
He's the only one. He's the master. All creation gotta call you king. Creation puts that crown on you, Jesus. Somebody say,
And when he goes back to the instead of playing, he does he does a really discreet kind of appoggiatura, which I love. It was right before that, 33 seconds.
puts that crown on you, Jesus. Somebody
Did you hear it?
puts that crown on you, Jesus. Somebody say,
Dun, dun, dun.
puts that crown on you, Jesus. Somebody say glory. Puts that crown on you, Jesus. Somebody say glory to the one. Glory. We call him king.
We did get to it. There's the lick. There's the crazy melodic line I really wanted to. Michael, Amazing Slowdowner. I didn't know amazing was part of the title. Yes, it wasn't just me binging it up. It is amazing for my own purposes, but it is actually part of the name. ASD, Amazing Slowdowner. I've been trying to come up with a system for finding fills on the fly. I played guitar in MIDI bands from the 70s to the early... Don't date yourself. No, who cares? From the 70s to the early 90s, and the highest two strings on the guitar B&E are tuned thirds. Yes. We don't have to deal with that, which is great about the bass, isn't it? Did your guitar playing help you at all with... what kind of transferable skills did you find existed between bass and guitar? Since, from professional guitar player or, at least heavy hobbyist to switching to bass. I wonder. Do you think differently from bass? He's not one of ours. Everyone's welcome here, guys. Even guitar players. Just musicians, though, alright? No singers. Just kidding, singers. Just kidding. It's a tight old joke. Oh, okay. This is the lick I wanted to get to. I want to know what's going on there. So let me find exactly where it starts. Just about there. Just about. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna slow it down. I need to get to that first. Again, I was imagining 1,000 notes, and it's just a really relevant, appropriate line for the context. It's, yeah. That's what I'm hearing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you're hearing something different. I think it's pretty close. Absolutely. The fretboard, Michael says, was the easy part for me, but plucking took work. I'm an official convert. Bass is primary instrument now. I can't tell you. I mean, Mike is not going to... If Mike's still here, I don't think he'll contradict me. It just seems like every time you're on a gig, guitar players always eyeing up your bass, being like, oh, dude... Yeah, I'm picking up the bass now. There's always someone in the band that's going to tell you that he's picking up the bass. They're just realizing that it's the most fun instrument to play, really. People say, oh, nobody pays attention to the bass. Well, that might be true. They feel it when it's there, and when it's played with groove and good energy and all of that, when it's relevant and appropriate. But then you, as a bass player, you get to sort of lean a little bit more. Sometimes you're playing with a drummer a little bit more, and then you're playing with a keyboard player, and then sometimes you're like, oh, I'll have a little bit of fun in the, the dusty end of the fretboard and just double up one single vocal line, whatever, for fun, and then you're back into the shadows, back receding into the hedge like Homer Simpson. I just love that about bass, and people don't really mind if you don't stick to the bass line 100%. But, yet again, I've never been on a massive tour when you're getting paid to stick to the bass line. So my experience has been a more fun one, shall we say, where I've never really had, apart from the studio, obviously, or original music. But even original music, sometimes the composer, the person who you're playing for, the artist, is the word I was looking for. If you come up with some cool little appropriate ideas, they'll usually give you carte blanche to just do whatever you want, as long as it stays within the acceptable window bubble of what they're imagining. So it's down to you to have fun with the context that you're given. If that makes sense to anyone. Much more of a total musician. That's interesting. A lot of eyebrows are going to raise themselves when they read that. Well, 2. But yeah, I'm going to call it a day very soon, guys, because I don't want to have to rush too much. Hey, thanks, Tax. You're leaving at the right time. I won't be too long either, but thanks, man. I appreciate you stopping by again. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you again. And if you have any suggestions next time or anything else that you're working on or whatever, like, I remember you talking about your bandmates and you struggling a bit at church with different levels of conscientiousness, shall we say. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. We'll catch you soon. Yeah, that's true, Michael. That is true. That is definitely... You're at the crossroads between all the other instruments. And if you've ever noticed that, usually when something goes wrong in the song, even if it's not your fault, everybody always turns around to you. Whether it's like a structure issue or whatever, it's like, oh, where's the bass player going to decide to take us? Not 100% of the times, just in general. I always feel like you're anchoring the vibe, and yeah, people are naturally drawn to the bass as a reference. Yes, please, Mike, save that for tomorrow, 100%. And we'll have a look at that. Hiromi, oh my god. Oh, it's so many years ago. I remember the line, but never been able to play it. Crazy bass line with is it Dave Fuzinski on guitar? I think it was. I think it might have been. Plays fretless guitar. In any case, thank you very much for joining today, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I can see that a lot of you have already. Oh, Hadrian. Okay. Oh, Hadrian. Yeah. So I really appreciate your eyeballs today. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for being a part of it. I will continue transcribing some gospel probably tomorrow. If not, yeah, guys, I'm open to suggestions. Anything cool you've recently heard, we'll go through it. And I'll digest what I've transcribed today and come up with some kind of explanation, hopefully, for what it sounds good. Or at least if I get away with a better understanding of why it sounds good. It's not just in the technique, it's not just the note choice. There's something else. Harmonic relevance could be that as well. Well, we'll find all of that tomorrow. Ladies and gents, have a lovely rest of your day. It's the magic sauce, 100%, Mike. But I want to know what it is. I want to know the recipe for the magic sauce. I want to be able to make my own magic sauce. Yeah, put some delicious Belgian beer in it. Now it's magic sauce. Thank you very much, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks again, Mike. Both Mikes, thanks again for stopping by. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.